Today, I'm gonna give you a peek over my shoulder on exactly how I deliver for my AI growth consulting clients, step by step. Because after closing a deal, most people feel their adrenaline pumping through their veins like they've made it. But when it comes to delivering the work, they have no clue on what to do next. They know what they should be doing in theory, but they do not know how to put it into action. So in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how I generate leads for clients, how I set up the systems, and how I keep them paying me as much as 10K month after month. So you can just copy me. Let's get into it. So how do I actually fulfill on these 10K clients using only AI? Well, we're gonna get into it. And where it starts is the offer. The offer is the most important thing that you can do inside of your AI growth consulting business. With a shit offer, you'll sound like everyone else and you'll get no leads, you'll get no clients, and you'll have no sales, and you'll have to go work a dumb, shitty job that you don't wanna do. So if you pay attention to this, I'm gonna show you exactly what I do, all the steps, and basically give you my SOP that's got about 70 steps. So you can crush it, print some cash, and then eventually come work with me. So what we're doing for this is a speed to lead agent. And the reason why speed to lead is so important is because there's a bunch of studies by a bunch of nerds basically saying that every minute after 5 minutes, your likelihood of making the sale goes down 100%. And that is a terrible thing for businesses, and it is something that is a knife in the neck problem, which I tell my clients to solve. You wanna solve something that's painful, expensive, and they feel every day. And you wanna solve it for the business owner that's actually feeling it and not go through huge boards and committees and all that other shit. We wanna solve big problems, get paid, and move on to the next. So the reason why the speed to lead AI agent works really well, obviously instant response, you can do smart qualification, you can have them auto booking, and then you can do something what's called forever follow-up, and you're just constantly following up with the leads. So now that is the offer, and I'm gonna show you exactly all the steps. We've got an absolute doozy to build out so you can crush it, right? Now, how do we actually get leads for our clients? So when we look at AI growth consulting, we want to drive growth, and there's two ways you can drive growth. You can increase revenue or you can decrease costs. And the thing about like automation and systems and all that kind of shit, it's really good, but it has been around for 15, 20 years. And systems offers are good, but they're slow, tedious, and as soon as you start getting into teams and like working with like businesses that have staff and training them and getting change, that is incredibly hard unless you have buy-in, and that is another skill by itself. So what I always focus on is help the business generate more leads, because when you have more leads coming in, you have more options, you're making more sale, you're making more cash, and then you go in and do like the automation offers and stuff like that. Not saying that they're bad, but I'm saying that there's like, if you can show like, hey, we're gonna add 100, 200, 300K to your pipeline, then you can actually fucking crush it for these businesses and have a really good offer and make a bunch of cash. And that's literally what I've been able to do, and why I've been able to make 350 grand doing this in the last 12 months is because I can drive leads, and it's like, hey, we're getting this many leads, this many calls, and you're making this many sales, and you're only paying me 10 grand a month, and I'm generating you hundreds, if not thousands of leads over that 12-month period, right? So how do we actually get leads? And that is the first part of this. So I have something called the 4D demand matrix. So there's basically only 4 ways that you can create new leads for a business. Outside of this, there's like partnerships, affiliates, and all that kind of thing. But the key to understand about those is you don't actually control them, right? Like if your affiliates shit the bed and it stops working, or like you have like partnerships and you have like referral partners and all that kind of stuff, yeah, awesome, that's great. But the reason I was able to grow my gym business from like 0 locations to 7 locations before I was 25, and how I was on Shark Tank and all that kind of shit, was we knew if we spent X amount of dollars on Facebook ads, we would get leads. And we knew like basically on like worst case scenario, 14% of leads became clients. Best case in some of our gyms, they absolutely crushed, and like 30 to 35% of every lead became a client. So we knew spending $20, $30 lead cost us about $100 to get a client. Awesome, 150, 200 at the worst, and they were paying anywhere from $400 to $600 to sign up, and then they retention on the back end. So I share with you that story is you need to understand how these numbers come into the business so you can actually be an AI growth consultant instead of just some AI automation agency loser. We don't want that, right? So there's 4 ways: cold outreach, warm outreach, ads, and content. So you'll see here, strangers, and they know you, right? If you want to go reach out to someone that you went to high school with, or someone that you went to college with, or something like that, they know you, right? So that's warm outreach. And then content, it's like, it's blurring the line because like you're having like the virality of reels and stuff like that. But generally speaking, like content, they know who you are because they're seeing your content, right? And then for ads, you're paying to put that in someone's feed and you are now doing it like outside of that, right? And then there's cold outreach. And the reason we say one-on-one, because like the communication channel is one-on-one. It's like an email from an email, and if you've seen any of my other videos, that I'm sure they'll be on the screen here, where I go through, do cold email campaigns from scratch, you'll understand that, right? Okay, so now, before you build, it's like what you talk about in terms of building a house. You need to build it on a very strong foundation. So we need to make sure that we have our client information. I'm gonna be building on GHL, or my white label GHL, and that is going to be great. Like when I'm building for clients, I'll generally have the snapshot or template prepared, but I'm not gonna do that because you won't have that to get started. So I'm gonna actually go through all the steps so you can actually see it, right? And I could show you some of my templates that we've built out for, like, I've done a lot of gyms, funnily enough, because I know it. I'm not really working with them at the moment, but I have done a lot of gyms and rolled it out to gym coaching businesses and stuff like that. So I'll show you what an epic template looks like. And then your lead source, so like where are they generating leads, or if you're going to be actually generating leads for them, like you'll need to be hooked up to their Meta Ad Manager or their cold outreach or whatever they are doing to generate leads. They might be buying leads from lists and then linking up to like the client's calendar. So they'll either be on Outlook or Gmail. God forbid they're on anything else. If they are on something else, it's going to make your life a lot harder. Whereas if they're on Gmail or Outlook, it makes it really easy, right? So let us now, so I've popped this in and I've told you all about these, so we can tick all those off, right? So this is an interactive doc that I made in Claude for this video to show you how it is, but it's very similar to a spreadsheet that I use, well not spreadsheet, a checklist that I use in ClickUp. If you're not using ClickUp and you actually want to build a proper firm, you'll need something like ClickUp or Notion for project manager, but that is a side note. All right, let's go in. I'm gonna do this, add to new split view, and then I'm gonna go right click, add to split view. So what you're gonna do is you are going to sign up. If you don't have GHL, it's great. I use it with all my clients and it has a lot of good integrations, and it works for basically until businesses get to kind of enterprise level and they may go to Salesforce or HubSpot, but those are archaic fucking CRMs and they're a bit shit. But nonetheless, let's go. We're going to create a new sub account. So I have my snapshots, right? So if I go my imported snapshots, I've got a bunch of different snapshots and different things that I've done. But I'm going to select this and continue because that is the snapshot that has got a lot of good stuff. All right, so now let's pick a business. What is a business that I haven't done one of these videos? I am going to do an accounting firm. All right, sweet. Let's go Ace Accounting Firm. I'll just make sure that they have a website. Ace.com.au. So, Ace Accounting Firm, New York. They don't seem to have a website. We want a website so we can use it for their FAQs and we can answer the questions. So we're not going to do accounting. Yeah, I'm just going to do accounting firms in Perth because that's where I am at the moment, right? So let's just go, oh, that is my old accounting firm from the gyms. Awesome, let's use that. Okay, so pkf.com.au, pkf. PKF Perth, there we go. Yeah, sweet, cool. So now we're gonna set it up and we're just gonna do test at gmail.com. It's gonna pull all this data in there. We're gonna go Perth. There we go, add sample data. No, this is my client's account, add sub account. Perfect, so we've created a new sub account. We've done the snapshot, we've done the view, the basic information. No, thank you. And that, cool. So again, when you're doing this for a client, you wanna make sure it's all set up correctly, but for the speed of this video, that is good enough. All right, so that is phase one done. And what you're gonna see in here, when I go through it, there's a lot of stuff that's done. and there's a lot of different things that are being used. All right, so now let's look at like lead source integration. So like I said, you're gonna need access to either their meta ads, their Google ads, wherever they're getting their leads for, because this is a speed to lead bot. So it needs to be coming from their lead source. So I'm just gonna pretend that this is their contact us on their website. Sweet. All right. Actually, I'm just gonna leave that there because I'm gonna create a form that mirrors that. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to go into sites, and then we're going to go form builder, and then we are going to start from scratch. And then for the sake of this, to make this a lot easier, I'm going to add tab to new split view, and then add, okay, all right. So what we're gonna do, just to make this faster, not high rows, we're gonna add that over here, and now I'm gonna be able to copy this form over and just drill it down really fast. All right, so first name, last name. Cool. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add a company name, organization. Oh, why is that not letting me drag and drop? It might be because I'm in the split view. Okay, let's go. Interesting. Unsplit tabs. Let's go now. There we go. Yeah. First name, last name, phone, and then let's go settings. No, I'm trying to make it exactly the same. Okay. First name, last name. Cool. PKF office. I'm obviously not going to add all of those because that's a bit redundant. So now what you do here is you would do drop down, multi drop down, and I'd go like PKF office, Perth, Sydney, Melbourne. Sweet. All right. So that's got our options. Let's go back to the form. Reason for inquiry, multi drop down. There we go. And let's just check what they have. Careers, insolvency, marketing. Okay. Careers, insolvency, marketing / comps. So that, again, depending on your client will depend on how much detail you have to go. Reason for inquiry, there we go. Right, this way, done, delete. Okay. Preferred method of contact, such a boomer thing. We're just gonna leave that out, and then we'll put message. Multi-line message. Perfect. So we basically recreated that form, and we will use this. So I'm just going to call that PKF test. Save. All right, sweet. So that is our form, and that's where we're going to do our lead capture. So if we think of that, it's like the landing page there. We've mapped all the form. Now we need to test the lead flow into the system. So I'm just going to go save. And then I'm going to preview it, and then Jack Zuvalek, it's going to put my mobile number in there, and my email, Perth, marketing message, I will help you. Cool, there we go, submit. Cool, that is fine. And now let's go back into here, proceed, and then where's contacts? So I should be the only contact. Done, perfect. That is that done. So we know that the lead flow is doing that and that is active. Right, now we get into actually doing a bit of the AI stuff. So let's go back into here and then we're gonna go into automations. Got it. So I'm gonna show you what it looks like fully built out. And then you will be able to see like the depth that you can go, enable autosave. Cool. So they have a form submitted, it creates an opportunity, it assigns it to a user, adds a contact tag, it does Facebook Meta, Facebook Conversion API, which basically sends data back to your pixel so you can train the pixel properly. And Meta ads are notorious for basically underreporting. So this thing in GHL, the aim is to give better data into your Meta pixel so you can know what events are coming through and train your pixel better. Then you're gonna have a lead notification and then you're gonna send an email to the biz owner. Then it's gonna be like a 5-minute wait for the activate the AI chat agent, 5-minute SMS, and then there's like a 2-part SMS to make it feel really real, and then a 6-hour wait. And basically like this is kind of like that forever follow-up that I spoke about. We've just got SMSs going out forever, and then as soon as they reply, the AI agent picks it up. So that's kind of what it looks like, but that's not really helpful for you because you don't have that built out. So I'm gonna show you step by step how to actually build that out, right? So that is kind of a bit of a run through. So let's go here, create a workflow, start from scratch. And the cool thing is with GHL now, you can actually basically tell it what you want, which is really cool. So I'm gonna do that. So when, I think it actually has the prompt there. When a form is submitted, send an SMS to the lead, wait 5 minutes, and then, yeah, so that is like basically what we're gonna do. And I'm just gonna add a few steps in there. So that is the cool thing about AI now. You can actually get it to build all the automations, build all the workflows, so you don't have to click around like an Indian going through every single step, right? I'm just joking with that. But funny thing that the joke is like, you know, AI is all Indian and you've got a bunch of developers clicking around. That doesn't need to be the case anymore. You can just tell it what to do and it will do it for you. So that is the key to that. So it is now generating that. So in the meantime, I'm gonna actually go out and set up the AI because this is gonna basically be all done. Now we are going to do the AI agent configuration. And this is where I need to tell you that the AI that comes with GHL, I've been a user of GHL since May of 2020. So a bit of an OG that you could say. So before AI was cool and before it was cool, we were using it when we sold our gyms and we're still helping them with the marketing. We moved everything over from ClickFunnels to GHL. 1, because it cost, it was just so much better. But 2, you can duplicate the workflows and basically scale out a pretty good offer, which wasn't possible with ClickFunnels back, you know, in 2014 when I was doing this. So conversational AI, I don't really think it's AI. It's more like logic-based workflows, and it's a bit shit. So I don't really rate it. So I use something called Outbox. I know the founder of Outbox, he's a G, and he has built a world-class I'm just gonna call this speed to lead AI test. Cool. So he has built like a world-class agent system with voice and text, and you're gonna see exactly what that looks like because it is gangster, right? So this is like a very kind of basic version of what I just explained. What we're doing now, PKF test, save trigger. So that's going to be the trigger. Cool. That is very vanilla, and you want to make sure that you're doing it to your like client's language. So open automation, set up lead trigger, configure test message, appropriate delays, set up follow-up sequence, customize for that, fallback steps, activate automation. So they're all done. So what will happen when that, and if they don't reply, that's 5 minutes, right? If they reply, and then like you can just go as like crazy as you want with this, you know, send SMS, you can add a task for, that's already been done. And you can basically move them, add them to pipelines and all that kind of thing as well. Again, based out on what is that you're doing for the client and what exactly that it is that you need to be doing. Right, so what we need to do now, we need to go to ai.zuva.io. So this is the white label of Outbox, which I have. And then I added a new company, and it's going to be called PKF test at Gmail. Oh, there we go. Perth. There we go. Just going to do that. Save address. Doesn't matter. Create company. All right. Now we need to go into that company. It hasn't uploaded. And then we need to do a little bit of nerdy stuff, which is, oh, there it is. So now we go into the company settings, company, and then we grab the API key. We go to integrations, we go connect. And now this is going to log us in to high level. So now we're connecting the AI agent to high level. So I'm going to go add, and then I'm going to go PKF Perth. Perfect. AI dialer, proceed, post that API key. So now we've integrated that. What we can do in here now, I'm going to hit save. Wait for it doesn't reference. Okay. Ah, there we go. So basically that was just saying it didn't have a reference point. So again, key learning there is AI doesn't work perfectly all the time. All right, so now what we're going to do is, so like how I'd have this for a client, actually it's probably fine. There we go. Now we're going to go activate. I think I need to refresh it. Nope. So now we need to go here, activate AI chat agent. Perfect. So that is now in there, right? But we don't have an agent built, so that's the next thing we'll need to do. So we go back into here, and then I'll move that out of the way. We go back to home. We go to agents. We go create an agent, PKF test. And then it's going to be a chat agent or a voice agent. Okay, so now I'm going to go to ChatGPT. Speed to lead AI agent for perfect. So again, this is where we're getting AI to do the work for us. And the cool thing about perfect, there we go. And there we go. This is great. So I'll probably make that the message. Way better. So again, doing it for the client's tone, right? I'm just going to take that. Sweet. Save, and then where is ChatGPT? I'm going to put all of that in there. So now this is using like the info that we've given, and that's probably going to be a bit overkill, but it's using the info that we're given to create a prompt for the agent, which is really cool. So that is going to take a second while that is loading, right? So for the SMSs to work, you're going to need a phone provider. So depending on how your GHL is set up, but basically you'll go into your phone system, and then you will need to like add a number. So there is a couple of things to do that. And then so you can like add a number here. So that is through, I'm just gonna go to Australia. Through like lead connector. And that is one that you can do, I'm just gonna go mobile, apply. But there's something called a regulatory bundle, which you need to have. So I'm going to show you what it looks like in like without it. And then that is basically setting up the number. So if you haven't done it before, basically you need to buy a number, and then if you're in Australia, you have to get like the ATSIC bundle basically. In America, there's something called A2P, which is a bit of a fuck around, but it just needs to be done. And you can get someone on Upwork to do it and submit it all for you for like 20 bucks. So yeah, just depends on the location. I'm not entirely sure in the UK. I did get an email saying one of my UK numbers is getting changed. But so say you like buy it here, proceed to buy. And then like, so this is what it's going to say, because I don't have the like rebilling and I do all the Twilio myself. I need to get that set up. So I'm just going to use another number for that. So let's go back into here to see if this is done. Perfect. So now you can see that basically the AI, I wrote a prompt, and then it's like a bit of AI inception. I wrote a prompt for the AI, and then I put it into the AI to create a prompt for the system. And then that is that. So now like to test it, right? It would be here, hey. And then it's going to send me that first message. Of course. And then, you know, I'm just going through now, business owner. Like this sounds like very logical. Let's just go tax planning. So you can see how it's actually like qualifying me now. And then again, so there'd be a little bit of editing for this prompt because we actually already have the email and the name. So save. Cool. So now what we're doing is basically updating the, there we go. So now it is deleting stuff out of the prompt, which is perfect, accept and save. So now if we did it again, and like this is where like the time and the money comes in, you will speak to the agent 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 times. And that's what you get paid for, to make it actually work and actually make it sound human. Whereas if you don't test it, it sounds like garbage. Your client will go through it and they go, this is garbage, and then they won't pay the rest of your invoice or pay your invoice, right? So you need to make sure that you're going through step by step, asking it like questions. And basically what you'll find is most people are retarded. So they'll ask the agent retarded questions. So you need to train the agent to know how to deal with retards. And that is very, very important. I can't stress that enough. So where are we at? So we are at now, we have created that. We've done the display timing. So the max messages per conversation is going to be dependent on like the follow-ups, and then like the way that GHL does it, it has like max, but that's kind of lame and we don't do it. We set the activation rules, train bot on client's office. So that's one thing I haven't done. So what you're gonna do, and this is what makes training it super easy, you're gonna go here and then you're gonna close this chat and you're gonna add a file, you're gonna go website and you're gonna hit scan. And that looks like it's scanned. And now you're gonna have a knowledge base. So that's basically gonna go through the website, all the shit that they do, and then you just need to take the, okay, so we can just like delete that. Now it's got like all of these details about the company on in the knowledge base. So now I'm just going to update the prompt to say you have access to the knowledge base. That's done. Access to the knowledge base. Generate. So now this is going to update the prompt and basically perfect. That's updated it. See if anything else. There's another blue. There we go. Sweet. So sometimes this saves as a like underscore file, but it hasn't this time. So that means that we are all good, but just need to make sure, like again, when you're testing it, to make sure it actually pulls the right stuff from the knowledge base. So now what we're going to do is we are going to, that's that. Okay, so what we need to do now in terms of home is we need to go to tools, and now we need to add tools. So that is how we go high level. There we go. Add. Okay, and then I actually now need to go back in. Oh, so something didn't add. Which one didn't add? Because there's 6. Book appointment add? I think so. Okay. Delete. Okay, let's get booked appointments, so that's delete. All right, so we've cooked something here, and I've only got 5. So we're gonna add tool, fetch, book, cancel, get the contacts. Cool, no, go high level. That was the one that wasn't added. And now we have all of them. So now we go settings, and we just need to go here. And then what I'll need to do is I'll come back to this after the section. So that is now we need to go back into our automations, and there we go. We can now configure the AI here, activate, because there'll actually be an AI agent there. So agent, PKF, SMS, and then so what it has here, minimum response time, maximum response time. What that means is how long do you actually want it to reply. So you might say like 5 seconds and 30 seconds. So it's going to pick a random time, so it's not instant. And that makes it might seem a little bit more human, but my view is people want their answers done fast, so just keep it very, very low. Okay, so that is that done. And then we've connected that. And we have tested the AI responses. I'm not going to spend hours testing it because you get the picture. So that is the easy part. The real challenge is getting a client to pay you $5,000 to $15,000 to do this for them in the first place. That's the part most people get stuck on. They learn the tools but have no idea how to actually position and offer their services. So that's why I put together a free training that breaks down exactly how to do that. How to position yourself, how to find businesses that need this, and how to close them without feeling pushy or salesy or lame or anything like that. If you want to watch it, I'll leave the link in the description below. But for now, let me keep showing you how all of this comes together and now the calendar setup. So let's get into that. So with the calendar setup, let's jump in. So you need to create an appointment calendar, configure the availability windows, set the correct time, connect it to like the client's Google or Outlook calendar, like I said, test it all, and then generate a booking link and then verify the booking page displays correctly. So there's a little bit to do. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go into calendars, we're going to go calendars, calendar settings, and then we're going to go calendar settings again. And then what we're going to do is a new calendar. So I'm just going to make that is really small. So we go personal booking. All right, so what I need to do now is I need to add my staff. So because this is a brand new sub account, it doesn't have anyone. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add jackz test at gmail.com. And then we're going to hit next, save. And while that is loading, I need to go to my Gmail. So they have been added. And then I need to go log in as Jack Zulek. I can't even spell my own name right. There we go. Okay. So I need to go into my email and activate it. All right, so that account has been added, and then I need to see I'm logged in. So I'm just gonna go my profile and then connect my Google account, and then calendar settings, add new connect. Oh, no, wrong one. Cancel. That's not gonna work. Continue. So this is basically connecting your Gmail to Go High Level. And now you're going to be able to use the calendar. So let's go back into calendar. I'm just going to create a calendar, personal booking, test, booked availability, select team member, that is A-OK. And then we're going to preview the booking widget. So that's got times. So when we go back into here, we can do that. So create appointment calendar, configure that, time zones right, connect to clients, Google, done. So again, if you're working with clients, I've put a little note there, client time zone availability, booking link. So I would copy that and put that there. Just for like when you're doing it with clients as well. So that is that. Now, the next thing is the notification system, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to go back and then we are going to go back again. Okay, that's been weird. Okay, so it's not allowing me for some reason. There we go. It's not allowing me to go back, which is weird. So now we go to automations And then let's just go STF, speed to lead. All right. So in terms of the notifications, right? So on the first one that I walk through, you would just want to add like notifications here. So it'd be like send internal notification. And then I'm just gonna make it like a notification on the app. New lead from contact us form. And then like you'd use these contacts, full name, email, phone, and then you'd have like when I go custom fields. So now these are all of the ones, message, and like you just basically map the field to the PKF office, whatever it is. And then, okay, redirect page would go to the contact, and then we'll just go all users. So that is like an internal notification. And then you can send internal notifications, SMS, all users. You have a template, name, just filled out a contact us form, the AI agent. Something along those lines, right? So you just fill it all out and do that. Again, if you wanted to look at like email, you'd go internal notification, email from Zuva notifications. I just have like notifications at their domain.com, so pkf.com.au. Subject, that's a new website lead. That's the one that I've done for a client. And then new website lead, blah, 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 blah. So you just like copy all the forms that you need, all the fields that you need into the email, and then you are away. So that is, I've probably not done something right. Select all users, save. So they're like all your internal notifications. Then like on the, so I'll just go save. I'll show you how to book a appointment confirmation. So create workflow, build using AI. When a lead books a call, create an internal notification and send them a confirmation email and SMS about their appointment. So now AI is going to be working the magic, and that is all that. So now what we're going to do is we are going to update our AIs because we need to link it to the calendar. So test is our calendar, which is the one that we just set up. And then fetch calendars. This tool has no configuration. Cancel or reschedule, that's fine. Book appointment, that would be there. And then, so this is where it gets interesting because this is like a multi-site one. So you would have it for each of the different calendars. You'd need to add the different agent, right? So, and this is where like the complication and actually being a consultant and solving the problem, you'd basically go, okay, this one's for Perth. So then you would have like book appointment Perth. And then that would be, say book appointment Perth, and then you'd add tool, go high level. So I'm really going kind of in depth for you. So, and then book appointment, calendar. So you probably have like it's different calendar. So you'd have like test Perth, Sydney. But then let's just go Sydney as the time zone. So now we're going to add the tools. Select a tool, book appointment, and so like that is the tool name. So I'm going to add that. Create tool, generate. And then basically you're going to add each of the tools into the agent so it knows what to do. Perfect. You can book there. Once they confirm, run book appointment with the confirmed details. Perfect. There we go. Accept and save. So again, you're using the AI to do all of the old, like when I was writing these prompts in Zapier in 2022, when I first did my speech lead bot, you basically had to like go out and figure out how to actually do it every single time. But technology has advanced, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So now we don't have to do that. So there we go. And then we need to add, like basically just add these tools in there. So find or create contact. Yeah, create tool. So now this is going to make sure that we're using the right. There we go. Accept and save. Cool. Add tool. Tool library. Get booked appointments. So that's going to be like if they start asking, it's probably for a different bot. So, and then because it knows these, like these prompts, then it will just update it. Cool. Accept and save. Add tool. Tool library. We get fetch free slots. Done. Cool, there we go. Accept and save. And then cancel. There we go. Cancel or reschedule. Control C. Generate. Accept and save. Perfect. So now all of the tools are in there. So, perfect. Customer booked appointment, and then I'd go calendar, in calendar, test, save trigger. Send internal notification to team. That's already like done it, which is good. Send confirmation email to lead. Basically, there we go. Perfect. That's all done. And then send a confirmation SMS. So that is that done, that done, that done. So if I go publish, save, STL calendar. So again, you'd want to make sure that you're getting these emails. And then, so if I go back to here, go 8 a.m. I confirm schedule meeting. It doesn't actually have a phone number linked to it, so it's probably not going to work. That's published. Execution logs. There we go. So all of that's done. That's all been executed, but there's no, there we go. I have this email. So that is all working, which is sensational. So we can say that that's all working, that's all working, that is all working. All right, so the last thing that we need to do is actually like go through and do a test. And that is what I'm going to do. So the last thing I would need, which I haven't put in here, is the Twilio. but that is a bit of a doozy. So now what we're going to go through is actually go through the entire system and test it and make sure everything works and we can book an appointment. So we're going to go Jack, Z, put the phone, jz at jackzivlek.co, Perth, marketing, and we're going to hit submit. And now I'm going to hit screen record on my phone so that we can actually see the lead come through. So let's hit screen record. And then you can actually see the lead on there. And that is the lead. So now what we're going to do is go hit yes. And now we're going to go through all of our checks and balances to make sure that everything is firing. So we have our contact being added in the system. So we got Jack Z there, email address that I just put in. And then, cool, you can see here, thank you, are you inquiring as an individual, a business owner, or on behalf of a company? So I go business owner. And then like what we're doing now is when we're going in our contacts, we can actually see the conversation happening in here. And it is double sending the messages, which is weird, but we'll check as to why. And then, so, you know, it's asking the question and qualifying me. So what best describes what you need right now? And you can obviously read that. I don't need to read it out to you. So just go business tax. And then you can see the messages is being sent on my phone and into the agent, and that is now going through. Oh, it's double sent that message, which is weird. So that's interesting. Again, this is why we test it and go through it. It's not the best, but it's not the end of the world, and it's probably something in the prompt. Yeah, so it's like double shared, it's like kind of double stated the message, which is a bit weird. Urgent. Speak to someone ASAP. Cool. And then like I accidentally just put ASA in there. So yeah, I didn't hit the ASAP. I have your name and email on file. May I please have the best phone number for our specialist to use? That is, so it's picking a, sorry, there we go. So I've sent the message and we're just like looking through here. So now we're going like chat logs, Jack Z. So find or create failed. So it looked at like business owner. So we need to update that. And then it's like, it didn't like put my name correctly. So this is why we test it. So that's what is, there we go. So I'm just gonna go JZ. So now it's just like getting the details. So an interesting part of it, right? Like it's not gonna be perfect. And I did kind of speed run this in basically less than an hour. So that is maybe why that it hasn't, you know, completely fired. So we're, you know, happy with all of this. And, you know, we're just getting into the last steps, which is interesting here. Cool. So now it's saying we have a few urgent slots available and business tax specialist tomorrow, 8 a.m., 10 a.m. or 2 p.m. Do 2 p.m. and a video meeting. So that is firing through. And you can see now it's got like find or create content, but it's still got my name. It's got the details. And like this is still linked to London, so it's picking up the number wrong. So like these are little things that you pick up when you do it a lot. And then we're seeing, okay, that is the reason why it's got kind of split contacts. So it'll be something that I'll need to go through and edit and actually read through the prompt. But that is so far so good. And then the, you know, going through here and what it is that we're actually doing. I can just make this a little bit bigger. So when we're looking at the tester notification delivery to the client, we've kind of done that. And then again, you're just reviewing the entire lead journey. And this is why I say you build the system once, and once you've got it down pat, it's just like duplicate and roll it out. And when I was doing the gym ones, I rolled it out to basically a whole coaching company full of gyms. And we rolled out the same speed to lead system, updated the prompt. So basically did that. And then, you want to make sure that each and every issue is isolated before you go in and deliver it to the client. So now in terms of the checklist that we have, you have, all systems tested and working. You want to train the clients on like how to view leads and how to like view their contacts and do whatever they need to know, how to check the appointments. And the way that you do this is you create your own SOP and then you like deliver that to the client. So this is how you use the system. This is how like you go find your contacts. This is how you find the conversations. This is where you get your notifications. Again, backup contacts configured. So you might even have a webhook to Google Sheets. And then like when you're actually selling it ongoing, you have the monthly maintenance plan, client sign off and delivery, and then the system is officially live. So if you're still watching, well done. You now know how to make $10,000 offers. So something in terms of like a bit of an extra, what we're looking at here, what you're doing is like you're monitoring lead flow. So this is how you get those sticky retainers. You're always like adding new deals to their pipeline, and you're always looking at, okay, how can you make this better? How can you make this better? How can you make this better? Reviewing the agent conversations, you're speaking to their sales reps, you're doing that kind of thing. You're also like tweaking the messaging, the questioning, the qualifying. So you'll see like where people drop off, and having that set up in your time zone on your pipeline. And then you have basically the monthly performance report and what you're actually doing in terms of performance. And then basically you invoice the client for ongoing tracking. And that is 100% of the build. And again, we've covered obviously a lot in that. And that's how you deliver 10K projects like a boss. So this is exactly how I deliver for my AI agency clients. That is the system that keeps them paying me thousands of dollars every single month just to keep it running. But this was only one piece of the puzzle. This is the piece that keeps the cash flowing. Before you even get to this phase, you need to position yourself the right way to start that cash flow in the first place. And I see way too many beginners lose deals that could have completely changed their business just because they position themselves as freelancers instead of consultants. So I put together a full training that breaks down everything from how to position yourself as an AI growth consultant, how to package your offer, and how to get businesses to pay you 5 to 15K to install growth systems for them. This is the same stuff I used to generate over $350,000 in the last 12 months, and it is the same stuff my students are using to land their first deals like Luke. Luke came in with zero AI experience, and 2 weeks later, he landed a $12,000 project plus a $5,000 a month retainer. Or Billy, who was stuck selling $1,500 a month retainers, and just a few weeks later, he closed a $20,000 project. So if you wanna see exactly how this works, I'll leave the free training link down below in the description. So go check that out. And if you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to not miss any future videos like this, and I'll see you in the next one.